Hey everybody, it's day number one. First, the first start to this new project here for the Vinyl Village Garage, your Firebird Restoration Station. Well, that sure sounds official. It makes it sound really cool, but we just work at a two-car garage, and we make things happen that are, I say, pretty neat to watch or pretty cool when it's all done. But what you see here behind me, 1968 Pontiac Firebird. Now, I've had this here in my garage part of the winter here, hoping for the springtime to work on the old spring chicken and get it start the tear down process. 'Cause that's going to be step number one. Gut the bird, pluck it from every little piece part that I can possibly get off of this thing, and then put it in a pile, and then get it sent off to the media blaster. But first off, we're going to do a quick little walk around here again, get you guys caught up, and we'll come up with a plan. Let me give a quick little recap, just in case this is the first time you guys have seen this car on the channel. And of course, me, left the key on or something, and I killed the battery. So I'm going to cook that so I can get it back in the garage. I backed it out earlier today, and I guess I must have done something, but no big deal. We can charge a battery. It's not too complicated here for us. I think we can handle that part. But looking in the car, we're not severely rotted out. Body panels actually have a little bit of shine to the paint still, but we get a little rust down here on the bottom, around the front. Front bumper probably just get a replacement. Underneath the hood, well, it's just a 1968 350, but unfortunately, not numbers matching, but a lot of the right parts for 1968. It's a W stamped code, so it was for a manual transmission, this engine. This car was configured with a 2-speed automatic, but currently has a turbo 350 style transmission, so it has a 3-speed right now. Vinyl top car, love them or hate them. This car is going to go back with that. It should be a white top. This is kind of, I don't know what color you'd call it, but just really nasty, disgusting, worn out and tired. Probably the original top for my best guess on the car. But it's there, but I'm going to try to get that pulled off. Now the doors, still in pretty good shape. A little bit of rust down here. This fender looks really, really nice, but I think it's been replaced. You can see a little difference in the color. Now the quarter panel, well, not bad around the fender well until you get a little closer. We've got some rot through here. It's not much holding that together, so probably gonna need some quarter skins or full quarters. And then you can see daylight through here and the trunk drop off, so you're gonna need both of those just the same. Trunk deck, probably gonna replace that one. There's not worth trying to rework it. But tail panel, well, we took a pretty solid hit right there, and the whole thing is actually kind of pushed in, so we're gonna have to do some pushing and pulling on the back of this car. But you can even see from this angle here, we kind of got a radius, and almost should have almost this direction on the car, not pushed in. So it's got a little bit of collision damage back here, but nothing that we can't sort out. And then the same thing is on the other side. Yeah, weight reduction, I guess I've heard that called that, and I do think that's a pretty appropriate name. And then same business going on here. Fender well is dead. Now that door looks pretty good. And quite possibly one of the coolest little details this car has that some people overlook, or it's kind of a fun conversation piece, is a little etched bird in the glass. This one actually has on both the driver and passenger side. This is the original glass. It's still in really fantastic condition, so I'm going to do our best to preserve and retain and reinstall this glass back in the car. So there you have it, the old 1968 Firebird. Quick little recap in case you haven't seen this car before. And if you have, a little refresher course for you, because, you know, sometimes we forget things, and I wanted to get you up to speed before we dug into this thing. And of course, the idea here in the two-car garage, well, that was kind of the theme of our channel, proving just about anything automotive could be handled here for the purpose of educating you, and basically so you can see it can be done and how we do it. You don't always necessarily need all those big, expensive tools or the equipment. Now, maybe I got a few years of knowledge or, say, a few years of experience doing this, but I'm willing to share it with you. Any questions, concerns, or thoughts, hit me up in the comments. Love to help you out on your project, keep a thing going on the road. It doesn't have to be shiny, pretty, and brand new, but as long as it's roadworthy and safe and functional, man, that's just the joy of driving these old cars. And as you get the time, you start fixing it up. But you don't want to miss a thing on this one here. We're going to completely tear this thing apart. Every nut, bolt, every system, taken apart, gone through, refurbished, reconditioned, repainted, and bring it back to like new or better status. So this is going to be a nice actual show car. You're going to be seeing the whole thing come together here. Now, you don't have to go as extreme as we're going to go here, but at least you can see the process of each step. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I know I've said that a few times, but you don't want to miss this. This is going to be a pretty cool series. Many, many episodes. Can't guarantee how long this is going to take, but we're going to keep plugging away, try to get one video a week out there, some kind of progress on it, and document it all so you can see this all happening. And we're also going to keep tabs on how much we spend on this project. Now, I'm going to list out all the parts, not necessarily the labor, not necessarily, because it's going to be you on your car providing the labor. But when it comes to the parts, you can see how much it's going to cost to bring this car back to fantastic condition. So I've said enough about all that. Let's get this thing going. you know, eating some of those yummy little pretzels with the peanut butter inside them. Oh man, those are fantastic, but they just get stuck in your teeth, and I just don't like that part. But besides all that, here's what we got going on today. We're going to figure out how to get this vinyl off the top of this car. It's obviously in very poor shape. It's got to come off. One of the steps we got to do is a necessary evil, get this car prepped to go to the old sandblaster, because last thing I want them to do, try to sandblast all that stuff off. I will say that if he doesn't warp the roof by doing that, well, he's really quite talented at sandblasting. But I think what we're going to do is do some mechanical removal here. We're going to try a little bit of scraper action and a little pry bar, because I really haven't found a great way to remove this. I've had quite a few cars that had vinyl tops, but someone's already had the privilege to remove it before I did. So this is one of the first times I actually have to do it, and I'm not really sure the best approach. I've watched some videos, asked some questions, and all of them come down to, it sucks. Not a lot of fun. There is no great technique. There's some ideas on how to get the glue off. Use some lacquer thinner, some kind of mineral spirits, or just grind the heck out of it and get it off here. But I'm going to try to do this without damaging too much of the original paint on this car, because surprisingly, this roof isn't rusty. It just blows my mind, an Indiana car, that the roof isn't rotted out. It does have a few small spots around the window here in the back, but we're talking minimal rust. Something you could probably sandblast out, quick little patch panel, and good to go again. But I'm going to dig into this, see if there's any good way to get this stuff off. All right, well, here we go. I've actually kind of toying with the idea of trying the old paint scraper technique here first, and then we're going to try to peel some of this stuff up. But I just don't want to gouge the paint up underneath it. But the idea here, I want to get as much of the bulk off that I can. When it goes to the media blaster, he's not blasting the heck out of this roof and warping the heck out of it. I mean, those guys are pretty talented at what they do, but let's be honest, a large flat panel is not ideal to sandblast. My last thing I want to do is damage a perfectly good roof panel that just got some crummy old dried on vinyl. So this actually isn't working too bad, because you can see I've got a camera in one hand, scraper in the other, and it's actually not coming up. Well, of course I said that. There we go. Not coming up too bad at all. It's actually moving quite good. So look at that. Peel that up all together. Look at this. There's the original paint. You see some the glue, of course, is still on there, but I think if we get all the vinyl and that backer off this thing, it should sandblast pretty nice. Let me show you what about 20 minutes worth of scraping gets you. We got that ripped up pretty easy. This actually is coming off all right. Not as bad as I thought it was going to, but basically just left with a bunch of the glue. But as you can see, the original paint, no rust at all. I do have a little rust right about here in the corner of the window, but that's, I'm gonna say, minimal. So that's looking pretty good. So at this point, 20 minutes invested, half the roof is basically stripped for the most part. Now we'll go ahead and do the other side. Well, now here's what about 35 minutes gets you. Get the whole thing all peeled off, get a little bit of debris to kind of wipe off. But I actually scraped. I have a little bit of a razor blade, and I'll tell you that, of course, it just doesn't look as shiny or as lustrous. But this color is a really neat color when it's all done up and shiny. But this is the original paint from 1968. Found a little thing here. The quarter panel, this one's been repainted. We knew that already, but you can see the paint flaking here underneath this part of the trim. This side is the original finish above it, but when you get to the passenger side, this rear quarter panel, I think, is the original paint, because I popped the trim loose. There's no tape line whatsoever. So what you see here, 1968 paint still on this car. Even more unheard of around here in Indiana. Some else I've been using these little wide, I guess I should say little, the wider razor blades. You get it at just the right angle and glide it across the roof. You can actually peel most of the adhesive off. So I've been doing this for a while, and got about half the roof cleaned off. So I see these panels, I don't hate to warp it, so sandblasting, even mechanical sanding on it, you could warp it, but this isn't working out too bad. Now, of course, your fingers are really tired and sore when it's all said and done, but I think this is actually going to work. Get all that glue the rest of the way off, then maybe just a light sanding to get everything kind of leveled off, but it's coming off pretty good. The next thing I did, of course, grab a little acetone here, wiped it down. The interesting thing is, from the factory, there's a lot of paint on the outer edge. It's actually almost the factory color. By the time you get to the center, they cheaped out and didn't put the full amount of actual body color on the center of the roof. So this is the first time I've actually pulled a top off. An original top car hasn't been repainted. So, it's kind of interesting because clearly they knew it was going to be a vinyl top car, but they cheaped out and don't really paint the center. Because this is only a couple passes with some acetone. It's wiping the paint right off there. But here on the front side and the sides, it's not doing too bad. And of course, I just can't get enough of these things too, but that's besides the point. And the other thing I run into is it's getting kind of dark out. So I'd say at this point here that I've got just about 2.5 hours into getting the top cleaned off. You can actually see a bit of a reflection there. That paint actually isn't in that bad a shape, but you can actually see now, sit back a little further, how the center is really thin on paint. That's just how they did it. It's kind of an interesting little fun fact for you. So those original freaks, everything's got to be back 100% to the original. Remember, don't paint the center of the roof because that's how they did it back in the day. But besides all that, I made some progress. This wasn't the most exciting thing, but I guess to sum it up, to get the vinyl top off, not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Peel off the sections, scrape with the razor blade, a little acetone on a rag. It's actually coming off pretty smooth and pretty clean, and even strip a little bit of paint. So nonetheless, got that part of the job done. Got a little bit more glue here on the sides. You can see still the work to get off here. So probably another hour and a half. So I would say probably 4 hours total to remove a vinyl top. So you figure that a shop hourly rate, it's a bunch. But we don't count that here. And at this point, I'm only out a few bucks for some acetone. So we're doing good on the parts budget so far. But anyway, we'll get some more footage. Got the next video coming out. Probably going to actually start tearing this whole thing down. Doors, glass, hood, fenders. I might just take a day off of my real job and blow this thing apart because the weather's starting to get better. I'm still a little chilly to wear a jacket, but shows the weather next week here back up in the 60s, so perfect weather to blow a car apart. So nonetheless, had a lot of fun. Thanks for following me on the journey. Anything you'd like to see, like I said 100 times over now, please let me know. I'll definitely make sure I get that part in a video for you to keep you motivated on your project, keep you going just the same. So, and one more thing, I just thought maybe I'd have a couple more of these too. So, all right, we'll see you next time.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap.